Happy Comic Book Day and welcome back, all you four-color funny book aficionados. This is USComics Cast, HQ for all things comic book connected. We are Jon and Charlie Rivera, the co-founders of USComics. Charlie! I said Charlie! Happy Comic Book Day.
Happy Comic Book Day to you and to everyone listening and watching today. As always, we are brought to you by Bad Mary Band and Sergeant Finesse Gaming. If you haven't done so already, please smash that like and or follow button and hit that comment section like it has a multi-million-dollar price on its head.
Ooh, Charlie, you Baba Yaga motherfucker. Just as your stellar, very, very nicely written intro would infer. Today we are all going over John Wick 4. Ergo, the gussied up nature of our presentation. Charlie, I do gotta say, man, you look sharp as hell. Charlie, that is some method bullshit. Unbelievable. Oh boy, boys and girls, I do not know if you have yet answered the call to go ahead and check out John Wick 4, but I'm not even gonna bullshit. Do it. Like, go do it. This is likely gonna be a pretty spoiler heavy, at least tail end of the review. Would you say that's appropriate, Chucky boy?
I agree. Right now, I would mark this bitch at relatively spoiler free. But we will let you know when we raise that alarm to red. We'll let you know.
We're gonna take it easy, I guess, on you. But we're doing like, ooh, fucking lock and load. So Charlie and I, for anyone who is even remotely interested, Charlie and I took this occasion because we are both John Wick fans. Charlie, again, we use the term, it's appropriate. Charlie bows at the altar of Keanu Reeves himself.
Whoa.
And I'm a fan. I don't tithe or anything like that, but I'm a fan. But we both very much enjoy the John Wick franchise, even now as we know that it is growing for certain. But yeah, we wanted to make it sure we saw this flick together in person, sitting next to each other even. Oh man, we split a bucket of popcorn. That's the level of commitment that we are at. Charlie, I'm going to speak for myself. I think I know your answer already. I loved it. It was outstanding. And probably the best thing that I can say for it, it exceeded my very high expectations. What about you?
I like you said, I'm a Keanu worshiper. The man can do no wrong. However,
you're a Keanu file.
What John Wick 4 did that you can attest to is it set me. This is a 3-hour movie. I would say after about 2 hours of pure excellence, my body couldn't contain the joyous giggles of a fully satiated man. My belly was filled with popcorn and soda, and I would see death and destruction that could only be described as top-tier art, and I couldn't help but go, I was vibrating with joy. This movie proves two things. One, it proves that there is another top contender in greatest series of all time. It must be included in the conversation. The second thing, John, this movie for me is the first movie in a franchise where there's a three-way tie for the best one. This isn't a Rocky situation where we're like, Rocky's the best, then you have your choice of Rocky 3 or 4. No, sir. Rocky 1, 2, and 4 are all arguably the best John Wick movie. It makes me so fucking happy that this movie
all
exists.
I can say is that it's a lucky thing that I do not currently have 15 in the clip and one in the chamber, because you just can't help yourself. Paul is checking in over from YouTube with complete and total suspension of belief. I thoroughly enjoyed John Wick 4. Damn it, Paul, that is very, very well stated, and I agree with you. There are certain aspects of this movie, maybe not so much as a superhero flick would require, or like a meet cute, like workaday guy and too hot for him gal love story. Not quite that level of suspension of disbelief, but there was some. But you know what? When I caught any flack, when I caught any kind of negative reviews coming my way from John Wick, I was like this, Charlie. Did you see my pajama pants? Because I'm definitely wearing pajamas right now.
For those of you
Charlie,
who made the mistake of not watching this live, you just missed my brother shield himself from nonsense reviews, utilizing his punk ass free flak jacket,
That's right,
suit coat. John is a dapper motherfucker, bulletproof.
Charlie, this flick is negative review bulletproof. Nobody, and I'll be frank. I mean, it was a little jokey joke on my part because I wanted to do the move, but I don't actively look for reviews of any kind. But sometimes, like the last chick at the bar at closing time, they sneak through the defenses. It happens. But Charlie, even like with a lackluster defense system in place, I have not caught anyone with anything bad to say about this flick. What I will say is this, before we get into any like real nitty gritty. Franchises in general are pretty fucking lousy at setting up spin-offs. They're just like, no, here, come and take it. It's like you have a delicious dinner at a fine restaurant that you have come to grow and love with some regularity, and they give you a fucking dessert which has nothing to do with the meal that you just ate. Like pumpkin pie comes after Thanksgiving dinner. You don't go to a French restaurant and have duck Laurents and an amazing bottle of wine like, here's your pumpkin pie, you filthy animal. No. They need to caress you. They need to ease it in. Ease it in. But in this case, John Wick, oh boy, with those luscious locks and little gray at the temple, my man eased it in all the way, bro. I am so hyped. For these inevitable spin-offs. We might be getting 2. Delicious.
I'm going to double down on your point, John. I hope we get 16. Cousin Paul over on the YouTube feed. Of course you do. He brings up a wonderful point. He said he lost count of how many times John Wick gets hit by a car and keeps on fighting. Loved it.
Nope, doesn't matter.
This is the sort of passion John Wick films bring about. You see something ridiculous and you go, yeah! John, let me put it to you like this. John Wick has a hard time being compared to other film franchises. What it can be compared to, though, in my estimation, is this is a perfected version of a video game set of sequels. The problem with movies and video games is the first one sets the rules, and by the end of it, you're a badass. By the end of John Wick 1, the Baba Yaga with a hole in his belly got himself a new dog, stapled himself, and was like, I did it for you, honey. Mwah! I miss you, Daisy. Then John Wick 2 is like, you're a little beat up, but shit's not over, bro. You're unretired, pimp. You're unretired, John. Get to work. And he said, all right. And what the newest movie does is the newest movie doesn't nerf John Wick at all. By the time you start John Wick 4, this motherfucker has proven proficiency in every weapon you could think of. He has a bulletproof suit, and he can drive, fuck yeah, the pencil of doom. And he could drive any car better than any race car driver in the history of man. Where do you go from there? John, that's a great fucking question. Where you go from there is you triple up on everything. If in the last movie he got shot and stabbed 2 times, in this movie he got shot and stabbed 16 fucking times. This was 3 hours of a guy shrugging off. John Wick could beat the shit out of Rocky, Drago, Creed, Baby Creed, and us all in the movie theater without breaking a sweat.
You can't do like a Batman preparation situation here, but you do have to say with a gun. Like, you've got to give my man a gun at least.
No, I disagree.
Because I feel
with
like
a weapon.
If any of those cats punched him, honestly, with the corner of the ring post, he could do some damage. With the little hammer that you hit the bell with to start and end rounds, he could do some damage with that. But John, I wanted to say this, Charlie.
Respectfully, Cousin Paul brought up he gets hit by a lot of cars. Rocky ain't hit with the strump of a car.
No, but Drago might be. We gotta go ahead. We have to translate the pounds to inches from the Russian.
Touche.
But no, in all sincerity, like this was one of those situations where you go into John Wick 4. I would love to do a nationwide search and be like, who's the motherfucker who walked into a theater to see John Wick 4 with their giant tub of popcorn and little Slurpee action on the side and said, this is the first John Wick. What happened in 1 through 3? If you went to go catch this flick, you are well educated in the John Wick-isms, the John Wick activities. So there's already a level of either love for the character or an aspect of like watching NASCAR. You're like, I'm just waiting for the wreck. Like, who's gonna finally get this guy? It's gotta happen eventually. I know that there are those type of people out there. However, we just really came off of award season for movies and for shows and music, everything basically. Shockingly, I was nominated for nothing this year, but we'll have to do better next year. Charlie, I can say this with all sincerity, fully straight face, and prepared to back it up if somebody wants to come at me. They need to have an Oscar for stunt choreography.
Oh my God, yes.
And you can make it kind of like an all inclusive, like, oh, this was a great car scene, this was an amazing shootout, this was an amazing fight sequence, whatever the case. That needs to happen, because one of the things, anyone who's even a semi-regular listener or viewer of this program knows that one of my common talking points is that art is art is art, right? As much as love is love is love, art is art is art. I don't care what the fucking format is, but I'm also standing here telling you that level of fight choreography is fucking art. That's as much a choreographed, artistic endeavor as any ballet that you're going to see out there, as any musical that's making a huge comeback nowadays. It is a fucking art form. It's different. It's on another level as multiple other art forms, in that the other art forms, you probably can't die if the art goes wrong. So even more to the point, this is the type of stuff that needs to be recognized on a much, much higher level. In addition to the cinematography, which was beautiful, in addition to the location selection, which was out of this world, like blew my mind. I walked out of that flick saying, shit, I don't have to go here. I want to go visit this place or that place, but also as well as...
It's like a fucking tourism board.
Charlie, the fight fucking choreography blew my mind. This is the type of flick where you're like, oh, and then you're like hitting the person next to you, but you don't really remember, is Charlie sitting to my right or to my left? Oh, either way, they're both getting it. Oh, did you guys see that? It was amazing. And in the theater, it's a community event.
Yes.
Right? It's a community event, even so much so as when you leave the theater, you're like, click clacking away. Oh, you got to see this. Did you check out that? I think my reaction is clear. I do not think I could have loved this more. Not too many words to really have to worry about. I think Keanu said that there's like less than 380 spoken words. That's fine. I'm like, that many? That seems like a lot.
I will bring this up, and then I do think we should move into the spoiler section. I do think the couple of people out there who are like, John Wick's a bad actor, be like, you don't understand a character who's now been around for 1 billion. That character does not need to bust out a Shakespearean sonnet. Motherfucker had one speech in 4 movies, and it was about his delightful puppy. Once again, Daisy. Respect, and I love you, and I miss you. But John, nothing can contain me any longer, and we have to get to Cousin Paul's most recent comment to really go in. Sir, bring up the fucking spoiler warning! That is a red alert, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't want to be spoiled, shut your ears for about 8 minutes.
Word.
John,
Zip it.
Cousin Paul from
Word.
YouTube says, what about the amazing room-to-room top-view fight scene? I've never seen that shit before. There's a scene in John Wick where they literally on set just didn't build a roof. And they do a one take, from what I can tell. They do a one take going through about 9 rooms with about 50 victims and John Wick shooting. And I'm going to just real quick. Motherfucker shoots fire! He shot fire, John! It was fire! They set up 20 minutes prior dragon breath shotgun rounds. I don't know if they're real. I don't know if they're fake. I do know they are cinematic as fuck.
I mean, we have them in Red Dead Redemption. So I'm gonna say it's probably. That's the other thing, Charlie. I would actually say for certain that they exist because one of the elements that this franchise has really kind of like leaned heavy on is that, yeah, granted, somebody probably can't get shot, I don't know, 100 times with just a thin little suit, bulletproof suit. I'm afraid to take you up on it. However, other elements of the movie, of the franchise, really are so detail specific, so accurate to real life, that when crazy stuff is going on, and you see Keanu like ripping through the bad guys, and he shoots 15 times on camera, he's like drops the clip, pops in the fresh one, cocks it back, and goes back to work. Those are the little type of details that if any kind of craziness even threatens to take you out of a moment, you're like, back in, you son of a bitch. I'm back in, just like my man Fry would say.
Selective realism
is
the superpower of the John Wick franchise. No matter how crazy they go...
Finish your thought.
No matter how crazy they go, they bring you right down to home when motherfucker gets thrown down 50 flights of stairs. You start falling, you are a snowball, John. That motherfucker pulled fucking... my name's John Wick and I like to party. That motherfucker fell and kept falling, and I turned to you and I said, I'm sorry, I'm stealing your thunder once again. You at one point said, I'm fucking tired. He ran up so many steps, so many times. You went,
there were moments in this movie and things that happened to John Wick, which like any hack could have seen coming a mile away, and still collectively the theater was like, oh! And we saw this flick on opening night in a working class community. This was not okay, folks, the movie's starting, let's be respectfully quiet type of audience. This was an audience who were like, ooh, oh, every shot, every punch, every kick, every stab was felt by the entire audience, and we reminded everyone sitting in a remotely close area about it. But Charlie, I'm going to refute your earlier point, and I will say it's not some bullshit that you were saying that is the superpower of the John Wick franchise. It's the doggos.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
This movie gets its core audience.
And again, we saw the flick out in Suffolk County, New York. If Brookhaven Shelter was really smart, they would have dolled up all of their adoptable dogs that was currently in the kennel and trotted them down to the theater and just had a nice little gate in the area. As people walked out of the movie, they're like, I want that one. This little motherfucker looks like he could throw down. Charlie, the dog in this flick, he didn't belong to John Wick, though we did have a nice cameo before and aft of the pit. There's a flick that belongs. I forget his name. The hunter. What's the character's name?
He was called the Tracker, but referred to himself
as
Nobody.
I was close.
Damn close.
But
which, by the way, brand new job for the universe. There are motherfuckers that are like, I'm not an assassin. I'm a tracker until motherfucker's worth a lot. Bitch,
but
genius.
Don't get in my way. Well done. His dog. Remember that Oscar nominated category that I had mentioned before? Add another one for non-human performances, because this dog, oh man, I wanted to hug this. If I wasn't pretty sure that he would just clamp down on my nether regions and get to work like we did on that giant tub of popcorn, I would hug this stranger dog and not even ask permission. But I do want, there's one thing that I think we definitely don't want to end the topic without mentioning, because I think we both be angry. So we recently, sadly, lost Lance Reddick, who has a very prominent role in the series, and in this flick. Just an amazing performer. Most people will know if you don't know who I'm talking about from the John Wick franchise. Most people will probably know him from The Wire. Um, Lost way too soon, and that was one of the moments where like it just happened. So the second that he popped up on screen, there was a collective, uh, from
Yeah.
the audience, and but again, it was the new for me, Charlie. I've loved all the John Wick movies, flicks really is the better term for them, for what they are. They weren't pretending to be something else. They're like, here's some setup, and
Yeah.
now we're gonna show you some amazing choreography and shooting and fighting. We're gonna show you all that shit. Charlie, the fucking new faces in this
My
flick,
God.
they hit literally and figuratively so fucking hard.
And this is a
I'll throw it back
franchise
to you.
that
Walk,
has,
walk the good people through the newbies.
out of nowhere, this new character Harbinger shows up, who represents the High Table, played by Clancy motherfucking Brown. Those of you who watch the show week to week know I avoid trailers
There
like the
can
plague.
be only one.
Clancy showed up and I did one of these. No, like it felt like a hat on a hat, gift wise.
For sure.
Obviously, Bill Skarsgård, it himself. This motherfucker was one of my favorite movie villains ever, and all he did was be a douchebag for fucking 3 hours. This motherfucker is a cheap asshole. He's like, John Wick's a problem. 6 million. Oh, I'm gonna give you more. 6.5 million. Like, you cheap
Like,
motherfucker. One of the people who sits at the high table.
He could have been working the counter at a pawn shop. He's like, I'm only gonna really get this out of it. I can maybe push it to like 6.25. Charlie, for me,
Motherfucker winds up with like 20 million. You should have done that to start with, Dick.
I literally almost fucking pissed my pants when Donnie fucking Yen started doing Donnie Yen shit.
Blind
He
again.
was-
This motherfucker doesn't need eyes to act. He's just always blind now.
His performance in this flick, I would put Donnie Yen's performance in John Wick 4 up against, and I know I'm speaking Charlie's language here, I would put his performance in this movie up against any Donnie Yen movies. Like, he was amazing. He was as much the star of this movie as Keanu Reeves.
There is a scene where he uses, this I won't fully spoil, but he winds up using something specifically he brought from home. For a blind guy to whoop ass, he was like, I brought accessories. And it was basically the equivalent of like throwing wind chimes everywhere. This motherfucker...
As a Daredevil fan as my brother is, I knew that shit was going to hit hard for Charlie.
John, also, it was maybe 4 minutes of screen time before I declared to myself, be like, I need Kane's background. Like, I need his backstory. Because in my head, I was like, John Wick's going to fricassee this motherfucker. But John...
Well, there are so many characters in this franchise that are worthy of, like, a backstory. I mean, Lawrence Fishburne's Bowery King character, Ian McShane's Winston character.
Well, Ian
the
McShane's
new people.
character is getting a spinoff. They're doing a TV show based
Rightfully
around him
so.
getting the hotel. Then we also have the ballerina, which takes place between John Wick 3 and 4. So it can be a surprising story, because the problem is if you had John Wick pop up now, like we've seen the movie. So instead they do this little brief period where John Wick was like in rehab basically from getting his ass whooped in John Wick 3. But John, let's not only briefly mention it. The tracker, played wonderfully by Shamir Anderson, is another motherfucker I think they should give a movie to. Everybody, I'm like Oprah. You get a movie. You get a movie. You get a movie.
Well, he would be really interesting in the, like, fuck what now? Like, he literally was there in that window where he's at a point now where he needs to kind of reevaluate. You know, like, I can imagine his dog, who's again just the best bite somebody in the balls that needs to get
Such
bit
a
in the
good
balls
boy.
type of dog. He would have all the treats. That's the type
Including
of character
beer?
I'm like, well, and yeah, sure. But Charlie, and I often, if not always, mispronounce this. Hiroyuki Sanda, who
Yes.
this is one of those actors that everybody knows. You don't know his name most of the time, but the second you see him, you're like, "Oh shit, my man!" He was outstanding and had one of those type of moments. He sets up his daughter, who like I mean, she's an actress now, but she was like she's like a musical artist, Rina Sawayama.
Rina Swayama?
I think I was closer to Sawayama.
Yes.
But regardless, it's you can imagine the spelling. She was great in this too, and you know, we'll keep some spoilers, but like this is the time when you see her exit stage left, don't sleep on her. She's coming back. She's coming back.
Also,
so that's
also
another
as
avenue that they can take it down.
John, one of the best like reveals, and I won't spoil it, but there is a scene where she goes from office to party mode. And everyone in the theater was like, yeah! Like, John, this is a movie to experience with, like, a crowd. Like, bring multiple friends, because you will be, by the end of it, I was like, let's beat the fuck out of anyone who's ever looked cross-eyed at a dog. Like,
Charlie was ready to throw down with a group of 12-year-olds as if
the
they
whole time,
had taken his Halloween candy. I'm like, yo, my man, relax.
I literally was like, what'd you say about my dog, Jameson? Headbutt. John, there is a scene with Tracker and his dog where the entirety of this packed theater, we were in the cheap seats. That's how packed this place was. John, there was a scene where someone misbehaves with Tracker's... Keep Tracker's dog's name out your motherfucking mouth! Because when this dog gets its revenge, hundreds of people were like, yeah! It was such a fucking monumentous occasion.
That dog had a Rocky moment. We're like, yay! He just like ended the Cold War.
Yes.
He forgave Paulie, like the whole nine
If I could bark and you could bark, then we all could bark. Nuts!
We're up against the clock, and the truth of the matter is that at this point, I'm really just waiting for my girl Anna de Armas' spinoff to drop. But it's not going to happen now, so we'll move on. Final thoughts, Charlie, and then I'll wrap you up.
This is a franchise that's in every argument category. It's in GOAT status. I think it's one of the best action films of all time. I think visually it's fucking stunning. I think the mood, the atmosphere, the choreography, I think Keanu's a badass, and I think there should be a John Wick spin-off film every single year. They should take 2 years off, start backfilling, and should be like, little teeny tiny, John Wick, ... whatever the fuck. John Wick, ... this dog now. I would watch
little
a movie
Johnny Wick
about
in the
Daisy.
playground.
I would do a cartoon about Daisy as like, she's like a spawn, but from heaven. It's like little Daisy's beating ass, like killing demons.
Why does
and
Daisy
shit.
have wings and green eyes? That's like a very odd combination. So
Hey,
well
man.
said, Charlie. Well said. I agree with all of your points. I'll just really leave it at this is a movie. It knows what it is, right? The people involved with the flick know exactly what it is. It's not Shakespeare, but when these performers, when they signed on the dotted line, they knew what they were signing for across the board, starting from Keanu Reeves, who I have the most respect for. He's the type of guy, he takes abuse all the time, but he knows what he is, just like this franchise knows what it is, and everyone who they've gotten on board at any given point in the franchise, they were all in accord. Like, this is what we're going to make. We're going to make it to the best of our ability, and we're going to make the best version of whatever you call this type of flick is. We're going to make the best one that you can imagine. And this is, again, for Charlie Boy. You know, Charlie, I like to make you happy. When Charlie happy, everybody happy.
It's true.
Of the John Wick flicks that have come out, this is my favorite one. This is my favorite fucking one. And they just, I can't imagine, honestly, how they could have done it better, except for maybe not quite including so many dudes wearing my favorite form of hat. My newsy caps. So many newsy cap wearing motherfuckers went down like a bad fucking habit. I was like, oh man, I gotta find a new hat. He's really making a bad name.
John, I got good news. I got good news. In Ballerina, the spinoff, those hats bulletproof. So now you'll be able
you know
like,
what?
good day, governor.
Then
Bang,
we're
bang,
back.
bang, bang.
Then we're back in again, guys. Universally across the board, both the Rivera brothers are all for this flick. If you haven't seen it yet, shame on you. Go out, check it out, pump up those theater numbers, and you will not be disappointed. If anybody tells you that John Wick is not an outstanding, if not the very best action franchise out there, Charlie, you know what's coming. They are a daggone liar. Just like George Toy Boy Lucas was a liar when he said, what? Han shot first, baby. Baba Yaga tell you the truth. Clink, clink. Salute.
Oh, no. Oh, it burns.
Delicious. I was a little sudsy. I'll be honest. I gotta check out the dishwasher.
Oh, man. Coming in the 0 hour, Ellis over on
Delicious.
YouTube. This franchise is built on a movie
Ellis.
where the dog dies. I'll not watch any franchise. I go full Kevin Smith crybaby at dog movies. Ellis, I promise you
so,
nothing else in this world. John Wick 4 gets such revenge for every dog that's ever been looked at cross-eyed. You will stand up, throw your pants away because they will be filled with goo, and you will celebrate fully, and that's a promise. John!
Just do us a favor, Ellis. Let us know what theater you're going to see that flick in, because I think we're going to have a universal boycott after your fucking showing.
I disagree. I think they go fucking Gallagher with it. That'll sell extra tickets. The front row will have the sheets. It'll be a good time for all, baby.
You're sitting
John,
in a spray zone. Oh, poor Ellis.
talking about good times for all, there is nothing Chucky love like a special. Right? It's been a long time since the Star Wars Christmas special broke our little hearts collectively. But Marvel specials are just the bee's knees. Werewolf by Night changed the game. Guardians of the Galaxy's Christmas special proved that it doesn't matter if you're a huge mainstream set of characters poised on the release of your third and apparently final installment. You too can have a special, but the rumors and innuendos are swirling over at Marvel at what comes next, and I want to talk about it with you beautiful monsters. John, I'm going to start so strong. Out the gate, rumor number one, the best unsung character in Marvel history, one might argue, the sunglasses wearing man, the guy with the worst debut costume since Vibe. We're talking Wonder Man getting a special to get him ready for fucking Secret Wars. We're going to get introduced to fucking Wonder Man. John, right out the gate, you see coming in 2 months, Wonder Man Takes Manhattan. I don't know if they're all going to be holiday themed, but it could be a Thanksgiving special for all the fuck I care. Wonder Man, here's my two questions. What's his holiday? What's his holiday? And how excited would you be to see Wonder Man finally grace our, albeit small, screen?
I like Wonder Man. I really do. Wonder Man is one of those.
What if that was
characters...
all you said? Like, I like Wonder Man. Next.
I'm like, no, it's fine. Do it. Next. What else you got? They call them elevator pitches for a reason, bro. Once they get to the lobby, it's over, son. It's over. Wrap it up, B.
You right.
So you know it's funny though, like not to reroute first one. I was under the impression, maybe I was wrong. I thought Wonder Man was gonna be like a full on series. I didn't realize it was gonna be a special. Now, granted, when you say it out loud, yeah, no, that makes sense. Wonder Man definitely as a standalone works better as a special. One might argue, what's its tits? Miss Marvel would have been better as a special also. Because for me, didn't really work so well as a series. Like they left far too much runtime for me to get annoyed at the character, and they did. But yeah, I think Wonder Man as a special probably makes more sense. But yeah, he's a great character, and especially with Marvel kind of going the way that it is, I'll leave that as as openly general as possible. I think that he's like, this is the perfect time to introduce a character like that, because he can literally do the look around, like, fuck is going on here? No, this is how it is. So I like it. I like it a lot.
Beautiful. Now, you bring up something very, very interesting, and I was hoping to get to it
Rare.
at some point, and I'm glad we're able to get to it from the top. There's a big shakeup at Marvel right now. The rumor has it that there's some... the rumor is that they have all come to one agreement, and that agreement is they've mismanaged some of their properties as far as what gets a series, what gets a very limited series, what should be a special, what should be a movie. So Wonder Man was originally slated for a full 2-hour feature. And what happened is, in this current climate, what they're realizing pretty quickly is that there's a lot of nerds that are alpha level, like Charlie. There's a lot of people going, when does this take place? Is this happening before or after? How do you set that up very clearly? And what they've realized with the reworking of the Daredevil series, which they are gung-ho on, they keep adding episodes to Daredevil. Daredevil is rumored to be currently slated for 18 episodes that'll each run 30 to 60 minutes. Part of the
That's
reason
like a
that
soap
they're
opera.
doing... Yeah, part of the reason that Daredevil's becoming such a longer runtime, very simply, is they had money to spare. When they started budgeting out what was supposed to be a 10-episode series, they suddenly realized they had more. And the question that became, well, do you have more story? Instead of stretching out the 10 they have more shit to tell. So apparently, the Daredevil full series, which is going to fucking feel like old school, I'm watching every week for months. Yes, please. What happens in the Daredevil series, allegedly, is there's gonna be shit that happens during the blip, there's gonna be shit that happens after the blip, and there's gonna be shit that happens like Tuesday. And what they're able to do is fully explore this character and surrounding characters in a way that they couldn't otherwise. Now, with that being said, right, did Wonder Man, was it better served to bang out an hour? Get everybody, like you always say, sometimes less is significantly more. I don't give a fuck about Wonder Man, right? This is their opportunity, because they know they'll get me for an hour, to get me to go, I fucking love Wonder Man. Get me my Wonder Man under ruse.
If I may, Charlie, because you kind of touched on a couple of good points.
Yes, please. I'm very excited.
Went right past them. So obviously, again, like you said, there's a bunch of shit going on at Marvel, in the Star Wars world also. So we do know, of course, the Disney commonality between the two of them. But yeah, like Marvel for the longest time had full autonomy over what they were doing. And that was all well and good because it was success after success after success. Record breaker after record breaker after record breaker. Now, anyone could have come along and said, that type of growth is not maintainable. There is going to be a dip ahead in the road, and you can call it whatever you want. You can call it superhero fatigue. You can call it mismanagement of the properties. You can call it a side effect of having your characters being so kind of spread to the wind. Whatever you call it, it happened. So ultimately, someone has to kind of someone's got to lose their head over it. We know where it happened over on Star Wars, and there's been some like debate, like, oh, you didn't fire me, I quit. Like, whatever. It doesn't make either way. You're holding a box with your belongings in it as you head out to the parking lot. So that's beside the point. But over at Marvel, it was Ike Perlmutter. So you're talking about kind of like not just keeping the vehicle on the tracks. You're also talking about maintaining momentum, and you can put out, like, I think of it, Charlie, like fucking Baskin Robbins. They come out with a new flavor, and like, this is the greatest, most amazing. This is chocolate chip doo doo. It'll blow your socks off. Everybody's gonna love it. What's that now? Oh no, nope, nobody liked it. Worst thing that they've ever tasted. They're not coming back to Baskin Robbins. That's the level of stuff that Marvel was kind of like staring down the barrel at, or is, I should say. Because there are those loyal devotees. You're like, look, even when you don't expect to enjoy something, you're like, yeah, fine, give me a half pint of the chocolate chip doo-doo, whatever. Like, those people, they're fine, they're safe. But ultimately, you're losing the casual folks. And that's, I think, who they're trying to gain. Now, one of the reasons why I think Wonder Man is a perfect vehicle for that is you can incorporate whoever the fuck else, anybody else who you want to play, and like you want to pull something out of the toy box, something somebody might be itching for. Boom, Wonder Man's your guy, because you don't really have a rabid fan base, so you're gonna upset if you don't like reference issue 17 from 1984. Like, fine, whatever. Doesn't make a difference. You want full autonomy. Wonder Man's the type of character, and obviously gonna be the type of series that you can do it. But we talked a lot about Wonder Man, rather. What else do you got?
The other big news coming out of the fucking rumor mill is that the Plan series, which is still apparently all guns a-blazing because it's a little bit less expensive, but the Wakanda series is still coming to us. But preceding that, it looks like Okoye is going to get a special to keep her kind of out of center stage of the Wakanda, now that she has a super suit that I think looks awful. So let's fix that shit.
However, very comic accurate. Very comic accurate.
Also accurate. Your statement as accurate as the goddamn costume. I just wish it didn't have a blue 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 mask, because I fucking hate those. Only hers goes way longer. Okoye getting a special. John, you had me at special. One of the underlying truths, if it's on Disney fucking Plus for free, if all I don't consider the payment because you make it. But also as well as
Charlie, it's not for free, bro.
But I'm
HBO is free. That's how that works.
Touche. I'm prepaying and I'm all the way in. But do I need 2 hours of Okoye? Do I even need 2 hours with the Royal Guard? The way that situation is currently unknown. What I do want is fucking Okoye fucking showing up looking just as super clean as me and my brother, as the one and only Joker Stream joins us from the Purple site. I think if
Twitch,
anyone,
indeed. Jokey, we could have just gotten out of John Wick as extras. You know how we do, son.
If anyone can appreciate a little bit of cosplay, if anyone can enjoy Okoye's comic accurate suit, you know it's Joker Stream, who brings you that gaming energy with cosplay. He got a sidekick. If you haven't checked it out, make sure you check it out today. You never have to be apologizing for being late. Unlike you, Ellis, you show up on time and ready to go.
Ellis and Bats, they have something to say. Always.
John, if there's nothing else to know about Okoye, one of the biggest badasses in all of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, how game are you? Is this something that the first night it's out, you're waiting till a California midnight to check it out, or are you going to give it to the weekend? How excited are you to see Okoye fuck some shit up?
Yeah. So I think we touched on this coming out of the most recent Wakanda adventures. I like Okoye better than most of the other characters in Black Panther. I was rooting for her hard to inherit the mantle. Clearly she's more than worthy of it. Clearly she's more than capable of doing it. I mean, she could fight zombies. She could fight like interstellar threats to the world. She could fight superheroes, whomever. She don't give a fuck. However, this is exactly the type of character-driven stories that a season of that would just be overkill, and it would be probably most unfortunate, because I would spend most of my time just defending the character and not focusing on like, well, yeah, it's like a little bit too exposed here, right? She even had a couple of moments in the movie, in this past movie, Forever, where I'm like, come on, kid, like, what are you doing? Like, someone's a great singer, don't make them dance too. So I love her. I love her in everything that she does. I think a special is exactly the right way to handle it. I really do.
So, I think you bring up a lot of very good points. I also think Marvel's in a very unique position to course correct in real time. So a movie that did very, very well for Marvel, very well received, was Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. The original plan was that Shang-Chi 2 was going to revolve around a fighting tournament, kind of connecting his sister, who's now in charge of the like hopefully we get a fucking good version. Now apparently they moved away from that because of because of Kang's importance. So apparently Legend of the Ten Rings is gonna have a little bit of a How's Your Father with Kang in the lead up. Either there's gonna be something about
Kang's gonna be in every damn thing.
Yeah, and again, I don't wanna leave it off the table, but we will actually wait. We're going to tease what we're going to start hopefully next week. We're going to start moving our kind of back and forth a little bit to in between sections.
Yes.
Ellis brought up a wonderful question. He wants to know our feelings on what's going on with the actor who plays Kang. What we're going to do is once this segment wraps, we're going to give you a very short preview. Yeah,
that's a perfect transition.
We're going to give you a preview of the kind of the new coming next week. So hang on tight, Ellis. We're going to get to that. We'll even show that at the break, a little bit of a teaser. But John, Shang-Chi's badass sister now is rumored to be getting a special that is stealing the tournament gimmick. Apparently she's looking for a new number 2, and that's the goal of the tournament. Now, the really exciting news, John, according to my independent sources called Twitter, so you can't trust it because I ain't got any verified followers.
Sure, no, it's perfect. It's perfect.
One of the big rumors is that that's the next time we're going to see Abomination as one of the tournament fighters. So a Mortal Kombat-esque movie.
That's a lock. That's a lock.
Starring Shang-Chi's sister as the head of like the greatest crime syndicate in all of fucking history. John, what a perfect way to further introduce Marvel characters that not only don't deserve a movie, they don't deserve a TV series, they don't deserve a special, but they would be wonderful for these big Avenger type movies. Introduce them, let us fall in love. What do you think?
I hate to be the guy that pew pew. I hate to be the guy that states the obvious, but I'm gonna do it, right? Comic books don't give every damn character that they come up with their own title. That not everybody gets a monthly, okay? So the fact that these stories derive from comic books, 4-color funnies, if you will, the same exact rules need to apply. I do want to say that I had a very difficult time keeping a straight face when you repeatedly referred to my man as Shang-Chi's, like he was the new mascot running around at Chuck E. Cheese. Like, Shang-Chi's is coming for you. Bring your birthday dollars over to Shang-Chi's. You get a pie? Ooh, and a fortune cookie.
I was saying Shang-Chi, comma S, sir.
Comma S. Anyways, all I was hearing was saying Shang-Chi's. I'm like, see, this is why Aaron Rodgers doesn't want to stay in Green Bay. This type of bullshit. But anyway, I think that they're fully embracing their source material, not just in the ripping off of the original writers, but in the way the characters are handled. Look, we refer to characters as like, there's like an A character, a B character. Iron Man was a C character until Favreau did what he did with him. That very much needs to apply. There are certain characters. Abomination would never get his own series, right? So you use them here and there. It doesn't make a difference who is playing them, because at the end of the day, every main named actor that we have is gonna have some part in either Marvel or DC fucking franchise, if not both. And we're rapidly approaching the point where, like, oh no, I'm here in Marvel, I'm this, in DC I'm that. Sometimes more than one character in each franchise. So that's the proper way to handle it, and that's comic book storytelling. We cannot pretend that we're so sophisticated and we're so like above everything else that we're not just telling comic book stories. It's for a reason why these comic book stories are important, because even adults sometimes forget the lessons that are told to children to make them a less shitty person. And that's my big fucking stamp on it. Like, there's a lot of doo-doo people out there that need a little reminder. This is what good guys look like. This is what bad guys look like. Take notes. Take notes.
John, that was, I think, a perfect way to wrap up talking about the Marvel specials. As long as you're okay with that, I'm going to give up my time to go to our brand new segment that is properly debuting next week, as long as that's okay with you, my friend.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's fine. And this obviously comes from the warped yet genius mind of Joker Stream from Twitch himself. Yeah, so we want to address, I think that's where you're going, right? We want to address
Yes.
Ellis's question / comment / very questionable drop in. I'll leave that to you because Ellis is mostly yours.
I only have
but
one
yeah,
question
so-
for you, John. Do you want to
Hit
do
me.
it before we get paid or after?
Let's do it before,
Perfect.
just so that we can kind of like know how it feels.
Yeah, so let's
and
go
this is
ahead.
your
Let me
topic, so you
talk to
jump
the
in,
people
you jump in.
directly. My beautiful Twitch army, my YouTube fanatics, and my Facebook freakazoids. They should have all been Fs, but whatever. What we're going to do is between every segment, starting next week, we're going to turn exclusively to you that are joining us in the live chat. It's going to be the time best for you to kind of share your thoughts that maybe don't directly align with the segment going on. We can go a little bit long form, or we can celebrate birthdays. We can have a lot of fun. We can even do giveaways. So today, the segment unofficially is brought to you by a Kevin Smith autographed mini poster. We are on the chase of 30 followers on Twitch. So if you watch us on YouTube or Facebook, thank you so much. You can continue to find us every Wednesday at 8 p.m. We need one more to hit 30, and then all you have to do is go over with proof that you follow us, and you will be entered to win a Kevin Smith signed mini poster of Clerks 3. Special announcement, we're going to have 2 winners now. We have 2 copies of that mini poster. So 2 of 30 people. And all you have to do is go ahead, follow us on the purple site Twitch, and go ahead and show us proof over at USComics HQ on Instagram. But John, let's turn to the people. Ellis over on YouTube says, no discussion on how everybody hates Kang, the Kang guy now. Jonathan Majors is having an unquestionable, amazing run right now.
And rightfully so.
Correct. He's a wonderful performer who's just fucking jacked. So if he was going to choke you, you should call the cops. I personally, despite thinking Ellis's follow-up comment of Kang is going to choke somebody, I think that's hilarious.
Very Kang thing to do.
I also personally think, and I'll kick it to you, John, and overall I want to keep today's preview segment pretty concise.
Yeah.
I do believe that, especially after the last few years, we need to let legal do what legal does. We do not know what happened. Accusations are so easy to make and so relatively sometimes hard to prove, but we have to stop playing this game where we jump to an opinion. My opinion on this is I don't know what happened yet. There's going to be a billion vultures talking about news forever, but already I've heard that charges were allegedly dropped from Jonathan Majors' lawyers, but I haven't seen proof of that. So do I even fucking believe that nonsense? Joker Stream over on Twitch, good friend of the show, just like Ellis, just like all of you beautiful people. He says Marvel's
Muhammad, what's up, Muhammad?
Hey, Muhammad, my man. Joker Stream said Marvel is going to be just like the NFL, silent until definitive proof of him doing something. I love people coming out of the woodwork saying, y'all didn't know he's an asshole. Now to that, I'm going to kick it to you, John, to kind of keep down the train.
Because I'm biting my tongue.
You and I are unofficially, because I don't think we said it on the show, but we said it to each other, that like Jonathan Majors may not be, he's no fucking Keanu Reeves. He's not a guy that I'm sure I would enjoy meeting. But not everyone is going to be my Lord and Savior, Keanu. Not everyone's job is to entertain me on the big, small, and real life. I think he might be a dick. Do I think that makes him a criminal? I don't fucking know. John?
Charlie, who gives a fuck? Like, what are we doing? I mean, I know this segment, what we're doing, but I mean collectively, as an audience of things, as consumers of entertainment, We're living in an age now where, look, it seems to me, I could be completely wrong, but it seems to me, and I'm not just talking about this particular instance, though I did kind of ferret out some details. I did a little bit of research, and I fucking looked online. Um, we're living in an age now where, regardless of the reason, it seems to me that certain demographics love to tear shit down, while other demographics love to apologize and turn a blind eye all the time. It really doesn't make a difference to whom you're referring to. Doesn't make a difference to what you're referring to. Doesn't make a difference to the who, what, when, why, or how. There's always gonna be two fucking sides, opposing sides. I don't know if these are the end times and this is like the best evidence of it. But no matter what the topic is, people want to split down the fucking middle. There's nobody in the middle except me, right? Everybody wants to have an opinion. Everybody wants to stamp their feet and pound their hands on the table and say, no, 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 I'm right. And, what I think, if you don't think what I think, you're wrong. From what I was able to ferret out is that, and again, I'm not a Jonathan Majors apologist. Do I love the limited work of his that we've gotten so far? Yes, absolutely. Could he be a tremendous fucking major asshole? Would I want him to date my sister that doesn't exist? Not if he's a fucking asshole. I mean, he's rich, which does help. So Charlie, get in there, kid. But if the guy isn't a great guy, then no, I wouldn't want my fictional sister to date him. However, upon further review of the story, I then saw, or they're reporting, that actually his girlfriend had a kind of like a mental fucking breakdown. That Jonathan Majors actually called 911 first. And it's like, hey, you guys need to come down here. There's an issue. She's acting this way or that way. Now, at the end of the day, do I really know what happened? No, I don't. Charlie, do I really care what happened? No, I really fucking don't. We talk about these things this way with our sports figures. We talk about people this way with our authors, J.K. Rowling. We talk about this way for everybody out there but ourselves, right? If we held ourselves to be as accountable as we want our celebrities of whichever fucking flavor of celebrity that you want to talk about, then we'd be living in a very different world. The truth of the matter is that we don't know what ultimately happened, what the details that come out, like, is it true or is it not true? I really don't know. Matter of fact, friend of the show, Casey, he hit me with that update when it very first happened. And I said, and I'm going to paraphrase myself here. I said, Casey, honestly, like, I don't give a fuck about that story because either two things are going to happen. Either it's true and his people will pay off her people and the story will go away because he's the hottest property in Hollywood right now. If it's true, he'll pay her and it'll go away. It won't be a story. Or it's not true, and they'll pay whatever money they need to pay to disprove the story, and nothing will happen. So either way, nothing is going to happen. This guy is on a fucking rocket ship to Mars. Nothing's going to take him down. If he pulled an OJ, that's a different fucking story. I'm not saying that, like, no celebrity can do anything to take me off their team. No, fuck yeah. All they need to do is put out a shitty movie, and I'm like, goodbye, fuck you. I don't trust you anymore. But
Vanilla Sky
like this,
almost fucked up my brother's relationship with Tom Cruise.
Poor boy. Tom is lucky that Zuzu reached out to me, and I made it to the next level because me and Tom were on shaky ground there for a minute.
John, not to force you through, but I think you perfectly eloquently brought it up. A couple quick things. One thing I need you to yay or nay. Are you on the side? I'll get to that in just one sec, John. But we have Joker Stream saying that since Jeremy Renner most likely needs a stand-in, that he's been working on his archery skills, even with the makeup, but covering with CG anyway. John, if you're the king of Marvel, do you okay Joker Stream taking the role of the body of Jeremy Renner? Because I'm all for it.
Yeah, of course. I'm in all the way. Thankfully, Joker Stream, he's rapidly approaching his full Air Force retirement, so he's gonna have a little time on his hands. Absolutely. Matter of fact, I mean, he brought up Jeremy Renner. Jeremy Renner's a perfect example. There was that 5 minute window where people were like, Jeremy Renner's really an asshole. We shouldn't support. What are you talking about?
Then he released that sick album.
About?
If you haven't heard the Jeremy Renner
I should
album,
be offended by that music.
How dare you?
He could do.
Terrible. Oh, I'm gonna fucking add that in a clip. John Ellis proposes that we call this the George Lucas appreciation segment. People, I think you could beat it at home. So if someone has a better idea, however, I do think Jar Jar Binks and a No Ghost needs to be a sticker. Our buddy Muhammad dropped in to say hello, Muhammad. We want to know what you think. Throw it in the comment section if you can, my friend. Even if your opinion is who gives a fuck, like my beautiful brother. Ellis saying maybe he has roid rage. That I'd buy as a valid excuse. Joker Stream, he's having the laces were in. They were in kind of moment right now. I have a hard time disagreeing. Ellis cast him with LeVar Burton, who is in fact a national treasure. I am always up for LeVar Burton getting any gig. My man was hosed on that Jeopardy gig. I mean, as it is, I watch that shit every day anyway. If LeVar Burton was on there, I'd watch it twice. I don't know how, but I would figure it out. He'd find a way. We got Joker Stream coming in from the Twitch site, I almost called it. That's www.twitch. They're going to call Isaiah Washington at a birthday party and tell him he has 2 hours to accept the role of Kang. If Marvel calls, you say yes. Ellis, John, when walk road, walk left side safe, walk right side safe, walk on middle, get squashed. Just like
Charlie.
Creep. Understand.
Charlie, whose speak to text works worse than a three-legged racehorse, having the audacity to shit on our boy Ellis and his writing stylings is maybe the most offensive thing that I've heard today. TMNT, what's up, kid?
Our third favorite Twitch personality, TMNT _ TTV. My friend, we were just testing out a brand new segment, maybe the shoot back section. We haven't come up with a name yet. We were talking about how the Kang may not always be played by the same guy. If it turns out he is a douche nugget.
Question of the day. Yes, sir.
Now that we tested out, shit, the Sarge is on deck.
Son of a bitch.
Normally we just salute.
Just in time to hear his paid. So that's like this type of guy that puts on the channel just to watch his own commercial. What is up, SGT Finesse, the Sarge? Hope your stream went well tonight,
Sarge learn nothing from Goodfellas? You watch your commercial, you're probably going to get got in the third.
I want my money today, Maury. Today. You'll have it. You get it. You got it, sweetheart.
John, as we finish up this segment, which again is
let's please
grow.
We're like
week
hour
after
3
week.
already.
John, I'm absolutely fucking flummoxed by these fucking podcasts that have millions and millions of listeners, and they're millionaire comedians, and they're like, I sleep on a fucking mattress made of seafoam. You're a fucking liar. Luckily for the people that are nice enough to join us. You sleep on a mattress
of lies.
Yeah, you fucking jerks. And that's why we always start off our ad the exact same way, because we are not like other pods who sell out for any random brand that's willing to pay. No, today we are once again brought to you by one of our absolute favorite bands, and of course is Bad Mary. You heard them during the intro. You're going to hear them at the end of the show. If you're wondering where else you can catch their act, you can follow them over at Bad Mary Band across all social media platforms. You can support them over on patreon.com/Bad Mary Band. You can stay up to date at badmary.com for merch and upcoming performances, including their tour of Japan coming shortly. But my favorite part is their entire discography is available across all music streaming services.
Damn straight. Go to Japan if you can. Check them out. But the real question right now, while the man is in the house, where we dropping with Sergeant Finesse. You can find him currently gaming as a gaming partner for now on Facebook, but he is also as well as doing the thing on Kick, brand new platform that's just popping. Their app has dropped already for iOS and soon coming to the non-Apple products, if anyone has those. But outstanding video game content, supporter games, co-streams, giveaways, contests. Don't be a sucker. Check him out today, because when the Sarge is on deck, oh, you Gluck Master Flex, oh, you salute. So anyways, Charlie, look. I think you're muted, pal. I think we all know that both Marvel and DC, I want to say this kindly, they're resting on their laurels. Like let's just fucking put the truth out there. My poor boys, the original gangsters, the ones that said peace, I'm out the door, folks over at Image, they're still trying desperately to get their second bite at the apple with a new Spawn flick. So they said, you know what? Since Hollywood is still a little bit too much of a nut to crack, let's go ahead and just keeping putting out new dope content. And that's what I want to talk about now, Charlie. Image Comics has yet again tickled the undercarriage with brand new content, and I'm talking about issue 1. Ooh, baby, of Dead Romans. Now, as you can see by this lovely Apple product that I'm holding, Sarge, I read my loose issues. I read them digitally. I don't want to have to wait. I want instant gratifications. That's what the ladies say, right? Oh, they don't? They don't say that? Uh-oh. Have to go back to the drawing board yet again.
I thought they said dos Vidania.
They say that'll be 200. What the good folks at the Image do in giving us digital content immediately, to me, Charlie, it's more than just instant gratification. It's an instant decision of like, yes, I'm going to go ahead and continue this. They even have the digital version of a pull list, just like your local favorite comic shop. Now,
so fucking awesome.
When I find a comic that I'm all into, I will buy the loosies digitally, and then I will go ahead and I will wait for that first collected edition to buy the paper version. And when you're ready to do so, you can, if you're in Jersey, you can go right over to Jay and Silent Bob's Secret Stash. Just the best damn comic, pretty relatively close to me. But yeah,
it's
Charlie,
far as fuck for me, and I still go.
I mean, and that's the truth in that. Joker, thanks for dropping in, brother. You're the best. So
I had a signed lunchbox last time.
The man's out of control. At this point, Kevin Smith is just tagging your shit. He's not autographing stuff. He's like, "Fuck this kid, get out of here." But yeah, so like, this is the stage that I really love. When new material goes out there, I get to read it without any baggage. That's so it's such a great feeling, Charlie. Oh, if I'm watching a show and there's a commercial, I know commercials do still exist for some of us, okay? If a commercial pisses me off, it has now affected my viewership of whatever comes next. Like that fucking Pantene commercial is gonna bother me to the point where I'm missing plot points from whatever news show I'm trying to watch. Not so with my brand new digital comics. I get to read it. I don't have any hang-ups about what came before. Man, I don't pull a Charlie. This is not as good as this one, and ruin my potential enjoyment. Or
I do that.
or freeze me up to be like, this fucking sucks. What a waste of $4. And that has happened. Ellis might think that it doesn't happen, that I like everything, but it's not true. No. I do indeed have my don't pull list, or don't try to pull that shit on me again list. But this comic, again, bad example for you, Ellis, but this fucking comic I really, really like. I want you guys to imagine when you were watching Spartacus the first time. Maybe if you go back a little bit further, the Rome series over on HBO, one of the very first binges that I really was able to put under my belt. But just a fucking absolute awesome comic, beautifully fucking illustrated. I had a little note for myself. So again, written by Fred Kennedy and artist Nick Marakovich. Might be fucking that up. Marinkovich, I'm gonna say. So it's a historical fiction that they've put together. Obviously, again, it just dropped this past Wednesday. It is, and Charlie can attest to this, because I said, Charlie, this is what I'm talking about here, and I shoved it under his fucking nose.
We were watching something else, and he was like, read this!
I said, turn that shit off! I pulled him off the toilet. I'm like, pay attention! Beautifully illustrated. This is the type of illustration which not that it looks like Alex Ross, but it's Alex Rossian in the fact of like when Alex Ross illustrates something, he like, look, you've got me for this long, so you can really fucking get like 110 effort. That's what I feel I'm looking at in these pages. But
I've said it
again,
a lot.
for
Every single page, every single frame can be a hung work of art. There's not a panel that can't be used as an art piece.
And there's not a panel that's like half-assed. Like
Correct.
This was the type of thing that was blueprinted. I feel like this is the way that we want to tell this story. But that being said, the art is absolutely beautiful. The writing, the dialogue could be a script. Like this is the type of thing that could be adapted into something else. And if they deviated, I would be fucking furious because it is so good. And again, we're an issue in. Let's all keep our panties on. An issue in.
John had a great first date.
Hooked, man.
He got blown, he got laid, and she fucking worked his butthole. This first issue set up a world that almost is impossible to keep up with.
This is the version of Charlie you get when the episode runs over the hour 10 mark. Charlie's just off the fucking meat hook already. But again, this is historical fiction, but it's set up in a world that I fucking love so much, like that sword and sorcery type shit. This is a non-superhero comic book, right? And comic books have that ability to do things that other fucking formats can't really do, right? You can look at a particular scene, if it's in a flick or TV show, and like, I'm going to look at the table over there because the cup is hanging off the edge. Comic book will not let you do that. They say, this is what you need to pay attention to. It's direct storytelling. It works so fucking well. And with everything that's going on, again, you're talking about Rome and their, you know what's a better analogy, Charlie? It's not an analogy, comparison. It's like the beginning of Gladiator. Remember the beginning of Gladiator? Fucking Maximus and his boys, they are going like balls deep into what is now Germany. That's the period of time that this is going to pick up from. So you have Rome, and they are penetrating without lubrication Germany as it stands, and hilarity ensues. Just kidding. It is at its core really a relationship story. Yeah, you're going to have all the stuff that you've come to expect. Action and violence and blood and gore, beauty. But again, it really is a relationship. It's a love story. It's a love story. You're talking about guys. I don't want to ruin it because this is. I already kind of know because I also read the preview pages for issue 2, so I do kind of know where it's going. But this is really like. This is a fish out of water, and that fish is like, this water isn't so bad. I'm going to go ahead and try it on. Very Moses-ish, I guess is the best way to put it. And once you read it, you will get it. But Charlie, I'll throw it right back to you, man. How do you feel, obviously, about this particular comic and number ones in the true sense of the word? Not like, did you read Captain America #1? Which fucking one? My man has had 207 #1 issues. What are you talking about? No, this is a real #1. How did you like it, and what do you think about beginnings?
I'm on record for many things. One of those things is total bullshit, and that thing is that I don't like sword and sorcery. Because what it turns out is I love good sword and sorcery, and good sword and sorcery for your brother, for the co-host of this show, very simply is when the swords clash first. Once I'm invested into brutal violence, maybe a little fucking... Maybe a little smashing, then you could be like, here's a dragon! If you start with the dragon, 8 out of 10 times, I'm like, fuck that dragon and fuck you. So the fact that in issue 1, so far no trouble is afoot in the weird, like, there's no wizard, there's none of that bullshit going on where there's a hunchback with a laser eye.
Roman shenanigans.
But just like Conan before it, if you set awesome violence in any era, Chucky is all in. Now, when it comes to #1s, there is no greater joy in my life than seeing a cover, reading a synopsis, knowing that one of my favorite artists or colorists or pencilers or fucking writers have a new project that they're all fucking gassed up about. There's nothing more exciting than cracking that page open for the first time. The entire unknown. The same way I don't watch movie trailers, I don't read a ton of preview pages. I don't read an early synopsis. If it's a writer, artist, whomever that I love, I'm going in blind for the first one. It's how I started my love affair with Painkiller Jane. I didn't know what the fuck that was about. I said, give me issue 1. Let's fucking go. And what's great is a lot of times for me, it's like Painkiller Jane. These are people I trust already. Or someone like you brings me this badass fucking book and says, I love this. I think you might love it too. That's what I loved back in the day. Crumpled up copies of fucking Teen Titans that I fell in love with from the fucking beginning. Nothing better.
Is that because I crumpled them like this?
You crumple something George Perez fucking created, I'll kill you. The other flip side, though, John, is knowing if I don't have to invest. I read a number 1 and it sucks. I've saved myself years, potentially, of disappointment. It's always a good thing, baby.
Hell yeah. Now, one of the nice things, particular about storytelling, and that's whether you're talking about comics or whether you're talking about series or you're talking about flicks. If a flick comes out and they tell you, this is a trilogy, right? George Lucas, that lying son of a bitch, he's like, this is a trilogy. 9 movies within that one, multiple series, fucking spin-offs. I'm like, what? A trilogy of what, my friend? Of decades of my life? In any case, when they tell you, look, this is the window that we have to tell you what we have to tell you, that even gets me a little bit more excited, because in the same way, when if you're watching episodic material and your favorite character is up to their knees in trouble, and then you're like, this show ends in 9 minutes. They better get out of this. Like, that's the way I feel with a limited series, and that's what this is. They need to get where they're going within a specific period of time, and that's precisely what this comic is. So much so, Charlie, that they've already announced the fucking release of the hardcover collected edition.
Woo!
So we are going to be ingesting all this fresh material that we already know we like, and we know that come November of this year, we are going to have the Dead Romans hardcover collected edition. Again, this is going to be a limited series, so guys, don't miss it. Don't miss it. These are the type of things that when they come out like on a schedule, right? So like Image has already done their research, like, okay, this is when we're going to drop it, this is what's happening around it, to the right and to the left of it, and it's important that we spit all this out. Not like back in the day, you had to wait for Image Comics. They were sometimes late by a full another month, and Charlie knows. Charlie's got a pull list like a fucking escort service in Las Vegas. Like, it is ridiculous, and Image used to be the very, very worst offenders, but that ship has sailed. Now they if they tell you something's coming, again, also like an escort in Las Vegas, it's coming. So cover your eyes and get the fucking mop and glow ready. It's just out fucking standing. Actually, yeah, Ellis, this is a dynamite. This is a dynamite comment. This is like a real comic book nerd. Ellis dropping in, the art is a bit more Frank Frazetta than Alex Ross, and that's a cool thing. 100% I agree with you, Ellis. What I meant when I said that it was Alex Ross-ish is that, like, look, this is not the type of thing that's like particularly maintainable on the type of like a long run of 50 fucking, even like the run that Daredevil's got going on with the crazy beard and like, my girlfriend's dressed up just like me. Is that cool or do I not like it? Like, those are the type of runs you're like, fuck, man, that is, if it's gonna be maintainable, then you have to have multiple pencils and pens at work here, and that's not the case here. So what I said, like Alex Ross, he said, okay, I'm gonna give you if I'm gonna give you a Fantastic Four book, you're like, I'm gonna get that book and that is it. Like a Kingdom Come, like that's not gonna run indefinitely.
Yeah, it
As
can't.
anyone who read The Kingdom will fucking be the first to tell you. So I love when new properties pop out, especially from the houses that I very much love and respect, like fucking Image is, man. Image comes out with anything, I'm there for it. I'm at least gonna say, okay, I'll try it. And not always do I like what I tried. I'm like, sometimes I spit it out. I'm like, okay, no thank you. Good for you. You beat me for $4. I'll see you next time. But in this case, I'm fully fucking invested. I've already pre-purchased issue 2, and I will be digitally, relax. And I will absolutely be buying the hardcover edition, the collected edition when it comes out, to add to the Lovely collection.
Let me ask you this, actually, John, real quick. If issue 2 stinks somehow, you've seen a third of it in previews. Let's say it tanks. Are you going to issue 3 just based on the quality of issue 1? And then if follow-up question, answer that question first, then I have a follow-up. So issue 2 disappoints. What do you do about issue 3?
Yeah. But as you said, I've already read the preview, 4 pages. Maybe more. Actually, there's a split page. 6 pages of the upcoming issue 2, and I did not feel that way whatsoever. But if you get invested in a TV series and you hang around for on the next episode of Go Fuck Yourself, and you're like, "What? There's a dragon! I said I don't like dragons. Nope, I'm not watching." You don't do that. I would say if you got invested in a particular property, they have 2 stinkers before I shake off the hook. But as of right now, I am fucking on the hook. I'm fully invested. I'm going to see this through to the end. Who's she smashing? I don't know. What's Germany up to? You can't really trust them. Twice they've already showed us. It's a little sketchy. Maybe Rome should have done a little bit of a better job.
I don't disagree.
But, I'm all for it, bro. I'm fucking all for it.
That's beautiful.
I'm fully in.
Like John said, my pull list is pretty long, so I think I'm going to wait for that hardcover. Should John give it the good old classic go-ahead, because John doesn't really rank things, but he absolutely lets me know if it's worth my time. If not, I'll just steal his iPad and I'll read the shit out of it.
Thumbs up. Anyone, if thumbs up is your default, I'm taking a picture pose, that's the equivalent of I'm funny because I say puns. It's not a good pose. Don't do thumbs up. What are you doing to your life? That's been 5 seconds of unfucking requested opinion by Jon Rivera, CEO of USComics.
You know
anyway,
what?
Charlie, that's my final thought, man. I'm fucking all in for the series. I love historical fiction like this. Again, Spartacus, fucking Gladiator, even stuff that is based on real history. I love that. You can follow up and be like, oh shit, did that really happen? Oh, did he really say that? Whatever the case might be. I love that whole Roman era. Just absolute dynamite. So I'm all in. By all means, you can buy my inevitable hard copy. And that's really my final thought. So we ran a little bit late, guys. Thank you for sticking around with us. So Charlie, I think at this point, really the only thing left to do is straighten our tie, pop our fucking cuffs, and tell the good people what to do with a pencil. No. Tell them how we wrap up each and every daggone episode of USComics Cast.
Well, there's a few simple steps, because first, you gotta turn the power on. Then you gotta turn that volume up. Then you gotta tune Bad Mary in. Open up the window wide and scream out into the night sky. See you, my space girl! We're out!
Johnny's gonna hit his head and little Katie's knees are shed. You can't stop now, 'cause not everybody's dead. Kevin hit the ceiling fan, Becky hit the plant stand. It came right down, not what she had planned. Slow down, roll the cushion, make some stepping stones, jump was pretty nice. Kevin's got some lacerations. Becky showed some dedication. Tommy's sitting quiet, losing all sensation. The ambulance was sent away. The game was over anyway, but we're all coming back on another rainy day. Mama's in the kitchen, making us some lunch. Now she started bitching 'cause Brian wrote the hatch. We playing Scrabble, playing Risk. The floor is lava. Nintendo Switch, got an Xbox. The floor is lava.
People keep asking if I'm back, and I haven't really had an answer. But now, yeah, I'm thinking I'm back. So you can either hand over your son, or you can die screaming alongside him!